Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bridge the Gap podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Scott.
And
today I'm a hot mess.
And today we're just going to continue the conversations that we kind of had last week about me starting my own channel and why I'm doing it. Last week we kind of talked about how there's a lot of confusion at the age of 21 and how it's a weird time to be 21. What is it? Economically, whatever. Financially, we'll say, socially, professionally, it's a weird time to be entering your adulthood. So I thought we would just kind of talk a little bit more about that today. Which isn't very holiday spirit of us. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about it because, yes, it is so weird, and I want to continue to talk about it, but I don't know if it's great to be an adult either, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. So maybe we can hit on that too. But let's start with you.
I'll back up that statement. However, at least you guys have had 30 years of practice before things went to shit. We didn't even get a trial run and everything's going to shit. So
yeah, this new normal for the last 4 or 5 years has not been really great for anyone.
No.
To be honest with you. Except, I don't know, maybe athletes. They make a lot more money.
Yeah, now. Whatever. I don't even want to talk about that. I just saw a post this morning about like how much the top 20 quarterbacks make.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Dak Prescott makes $60 million. You're not even good.
Well, we're going to get some Cowboy hate for sure, but
I don't care. I don't even like the Cowboys.
I know. When he was holding out or threatening to hold out because he wanted a contract because he saw these other quarterbacks getting paid, I said at the time, I was like, yeah, but you haven't done anything. Like, you haven't even won a playoff game. Like, you're trying to compare your output to guys that at least have gone to the playoffs and won playoff games. I mean, they might not have won a Super Bowl, but they've won playoff games. Like, and they suck again this year. Well,
I saw one post where Dak Prescott was like, I deserve the recognition that Jalen Hurts is getting. I'm like, Jalen Hurts is winning Super Bowls.
Yeah, he won 2.
What have you done, Dak Prescott?
Have they even made did the Cowboys still haven't made the playoffs, right? Or did they make it last year?
No.
Let's see.
No.
Playoffs. When was the last time? So he still hasn't won a playoff game.
Still haven't done anything. But anyway, so yes, it's a weird time to like be my age, and I haven't uploaded a new video on that channel yet because I'm still trying to figure out like what I want to talk about. I've had a few moments of like, oh, I should talk about this, or like I should talk about this. But also like I like to record privately when I'm like alone. And my roommates haven't left for winter break yet. So nothing against them because I know we all share very similar ideologies and stuff and they won't judge me, but it's just easier to be completely candid when I know that I can just speak and no one's like listening, you know? So I will have a new video coming soon on what, don't know. But yeah, just a weird time to be 21 right now. There's a lot of confusion and the world is kind of on acid, so it's not really helpful there either.
On acid?
Well, because every day on my Twitter, I'm getting a new notification where it's like, this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening, and I'm like, oh my God, can we just have a day?
Right.
Can we just have a day where everyone just shuts up and like exists? Please? Maybe?
That'd be awesome. But
that'd be great.
Now in that world, I don't think that's ever happened, right? So
it's never gonna happen.
No, I know, but it never happened either, right? So it's not like you were wishing for something that is impossible. But
I know.
I will say, I think last week we talked about the fact that it's fairly normal to feel that way.
Yeah.
And, every generation, we only really have your grandparents' generation and my generation to reflect on. And my grandparents certainly didn't. I wasn't close enough to talk to them about what they felt like at 21. But times were obviously different too. Like most of them were probably married by the time they were 21 and having a kid. So they didn't have time to wonder why they're confused on what life is about. You know what I mean? Like they just didn't have the time. So I would think that we can confidently say baby boomers on, it's probably pretty normal to feel the way you feel at 21, you know?
Yeah. And I do think it's normal because I've talked to people that kind of feel the same way. But they're still a little more confident in like the major they're pursuing or like where they can see themselves in a few years, where that's where I'm a little different. Cause I'm like, yeah, I like my major. But then when you're like, do you see yourself pursuing it? I'm like, ooh, I don't know. You know? So it's like, it's just weird. And we've talked about this one-on-one a little bit more in depth. We had a really good conversation on the phone just last week about it, but it's just like, no one's talking about it. So if you do feel a little confused and you're pursuing a major that you enjoy, but you don't know if you see yourself doing it, no one's talking about what that feels like and how left out of the college experience you feel when you're not 100% confident in what you're doing, you know? So it's like, or not 100%, but at least 70%, you know? Like,
I think the tough part for you though, in that aspect is you don't have a specialty type major, and most of the people you're surrounded by do, whether it's nursing or pre-med or engineering. Like you are surrounded by people that feel like they want to do something in a specialty, whereas you're kind of wide open. The good thing about that, it's interesting that you bring it up. I was in Atlanta yesterday meeting with a customer of ours, and we were catching up, and we actually were talking about you, and I made the joke that, you know, you were in South Carolina and now you're at Clemson, and that you changed majors from School of Comm to criminal justice. And he said, first thing out of his mouth, and he's a really smart guy, he's the national director, he was like, that's a great major that's broad, that she can use anywhere. And I was like, that's exactly what I said. So if you're not sure where you're going and what you want to do, because you don't want to be a nurse or a doctor or an engineer, or a scientist, or, you know, any one of those, you know, I'm going to be an infectious disease researcher. Okay, well that sounds like hell on earth to me, but congratulations, you know. At least you have, like, my degree right over there. I took a long time. I took the family circus diagram in the backyard way to get my college degree. And for anybody that's watching this that's not 21, that was a cartoon in the newspaper called Family Circus. And it always made fun of the fact where a parent asked one of the kids to go get something, and they couldn't just go and come back. They have to... So it's like a dilly-dally all over everything. And that's kind of how I finished school, but mine's in business management. I mean, how broad can that be?
Yeah.
But it's done well for me. And I've gone from terminal operations to retail to construction management to logistics again. I mean, I've been all over. So if you're going to feel that way, I think it's normal. I think what's harder, and I think we hit on it, is just the way that social media impacts the way that you guys all feel. Because when you're confused, when I was confused in the 90s, I didn't have social media at night to go home to and dwell on. And, you know, like, I didn't get off work and go and then immediately pull up Twitter or, well, X and Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and TikTok and watch all these people that were my age that seem like they have it all together and know exactly what they're doing, when we know 90% of them don't, but that's what they portray, which accentuates, I think, the feeling that you guys feel at 21.
Yeah, it's definitely weird because, you know, like, everyone's posting like their semester recaps, which a lot of people do. And I was like, oh, maybe I should put one together. And then I just didn't have any pictures. And like, it's not, I do stuff, but like, I don't do that stuff, you know, like I work a lot, and I'm very proud of that. I like my job. I like working, but then I look at all these fall recaps where everyone's like going out and going to birthday parties and going to this and like big group of friends. And I'm like, oh,
yeah, but you did
like,
all
good
that.
for you.
But you did it, right? Like you met new friends. You went to football games.
Yeah,
you
but
had birthday
I don't
parties.
I had one birthday party, and it was my own.
You go out. Well, that's because your
Rarely.
roommates haven't had a birthday yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go out at least a couple times a week. You know what I mean?
No. Dad, I go out like once every 2 weeks.
Didn't you go out last night?
No. I was
You
at
didn't go to
work.
dinner? Oh, no, that was 2 nights ago. Didn't you go to dinner 2 nights ago with a bunch with your people?
At 5:00.
Well, listen, it's still dark at 5.
Yeah.
I mean, you went out.
Yeah.
I think the other thing, too, that's hard for you, and I was thinking about this the other day. So I remember, and you and I, we've kind of dabbled this. It's weird when you're 18, between 18 and 21, you're like, well, what do we do? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm out of high school. Where do we just sit in we used to go to a place called the Upper Field, which is where just a big athletic field. That was in between the elementary school and the middle school. You guys would go sit in a parking lot at a strip mall or something. And you just kind of
7-Eleven.
Right? And you're like, this sucks. Like, what do we do? Like, I can't do high school shit and I can't do 21-year-old shit. So it's just a weird time. So then you ramp up and you're like, yes, I'm 21. This is awesome. And then you're like, oh, but none of my friends are 21 yet. So now I'm still in my 18 to 20-year-old phase. Like, it sucks.
It's so weird.
Because your roommates are all younger. Your best friends are younger.
Yes.
I mean, thank God one of them turns 21 in, February or something?
Yeah, late February.
Yeah, so at least you have that. So, I mean, I would have been your worst nightmare because your birthday's in September and my birthday's in April. So you would have, like, literally 6 months to be like, really?
Awesome. Great.
Waiting for
ya.
This is
I know.
lame, dude. So I think that adds to some of that, like, annoyance of where you are currently.
It's just so weird because I don't regret anything I've done, like moving and stuff like that, but I still I don't know. We've talked about this a little bit, but I thought it was just going to kind of solve my problems. And you were like, that's a very 21-year-old way of thinking. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I've always been people have always said, like, teachers, like, oh, she's ahead of the curve. Like, you don't have to worry about her. But then I moved and I was like, problem solved. Like, everything's going to be great now. And that's just not reality. And like deep down, I kind of knew that. But at the same time, it was like, I was just hoping it was going to just solve everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I got to look at next steps and what I want to do. And that's one thing I tell people all the time that I'm very thankful for is my family. I always tell people about you guys because you guys are very supportive and helpful. And so that's one thing that like makes this whole thing process easier is I know no matter what I choose to do, you guys are going to have my back in that. So that like, that takes a lot of stress off. Cause like you said, when you were 21, your parents supported you, but also they were like, yeah, don't do dumb shit, like, and instead of, and you guys instead are like, you're gonna do dumb shit. So like, just walk us through it with you and let us help you. So but I just feel like as a whole, real quick, I just feel like as a whole, like the world, we've all just kind of lost the plot. I think we've all lost the plot. You can't just exist now. Everybody's, I don't know. It's so weird. We were talking about this last night at work about how everyone's just lost the plot. I mean, some of the conversations I overhear at tables, I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
yeah. So
I don't know.
So real quick, well, number one, I appreciate it. It's one of those things that I took, when you're young and you grow up, and I grew up in a pretty decently, I think. And I was a happy kid and did a lot of stuff in my life early on. But when I turned 21, my parents moved out of my childhood home and they left the state. And then my sister was already gone out of the state. So I was like, so not only did my parents go, well, you went to school and then you stopped, so you're on your own. We're not helping you anymore. Like you pay your rent, you pay your everything. I think they paid my insurance, thank God, until I was 25. No, they actually, you know what? They didn't. They cut me off their insurance too. But it might have been different back then. I can't remember. It might have been only through 21 that you could be on your parents' policy. Now it's 25, I think. And I remember that because I sliced my hand in a fun way. And I went to the hospital. I had to go to the hospital and get stitches, and I gave them a false Social Security number so I didn't have to pay for the bill.
Dad.
Statute of limitations. It was 30 years ago. I can't be held accountable to that anymore. But I didn't have insurance. So like I was cut off from everything. And I didn't have, even if I wanted to move home, I couldn't. Like it was, I was done unless I wanted to move to a different state.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's one of those things where I look back on, I was like, okay, you know, now I'm a parent and you always take certain things with you. And that's, you know, traditions and certain ways of disciplining or communicating or whatever. And then you go, I'm not going to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that you and your brother understand that we expect the 20s to be the 20s, you know? And
yeah.
I just watched something and they're like, the 20s are all the time that you're supposed to do all this stupid stuff. Like this is your time. Now, if you decide to get married and have kids and start your real, you know, as you would say, your real adult life, then great. You know what I mean? Like your mom and I, it's really funny because we had kids late. And so we kind of hope you and your brother don't have kids late too, because then we're going to be really old grandparents. But then we don't want you to rush into anything either. You know what I mean? Like take your 20s and enjoy them, you know? So I think all that uncertainty, you know, I don't know if I said it last week, and if I did, then I apologize to anybody listening, but we want you always to feel like no matter what, you can't fail because you come from a good place.
Yeah.
And you can always come back here, whether you're 21, 31, 51. You know what I mean? Like you can always come back, get your shit together, and go again, you know? And because that's what life is, you know? I mean, it's a constant reinvention of what you do.
Of
whether
self,
it's, yeah, whether it's, you know, societal, whether it's geographical, whether it's professionally, whether it's familial. I mean, you're constantly having to figure it out, which leads me into what you said, the second thing, not to like take too long, but I literally went to Costco earlier today and I went in, it was like 11 and I was like, I'm going to get a hot dog before the lunch crowd gets here, right?
Yeah.
50, can't beat it. I'm sitting there eating a hot dog and I'm watching everybody and everybody just looked like you were talking about at work, a little lost.
Yeah.
Like kind of just going through the motions. And I sat there going, man, I think we're missing something as a species. You know what I mean? But I'm too far gone to kind of unwind all that. But you know, like I was thinking, I was like, I made the joke to your mom the other day. I was like, I think we should just sell the house, take our equity, and just move and live way simpler. So yeah. I tell you the story because I don't know if what you're seeking, you're ever going to find the answer to. And I know that sounds sad.
Sucks.
But it doesn't mean it's impossible. You could find it too, you know? Like Jerry Seinfeld, I was listening to a Netflix comedy station.
Yeah.
Once again today, Jerry Seinfeld comes on and he said there's a fine line between suck and great. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and he has all these great examples, like, you know, the restaurant's great. Well, I thought it sucked. He's like, there's no in between. It's either great or it sucks. Movies. Well, it was great for the first half of it, and then the last half sucked. And then he goes, and everybody's life sucks. Everybody's does. at some level, everybody's life sucks. He goes, my life sucks. Maybe not as much as your life sucks, but I still have days where my life sucks, you know? And I was like, well, and that guy's worth $1 billion, you know what I mean? So, so I don't know if you ever find it wholly, you know what I mean? You just have to find it piece by piece, you know? And
yeah, I'm just at that, like, I'm at a weird stage where I'm like, I just don't know if I'm going to find it in the current state that I'm at.
Like physical state or
everything, like, and like everything.
Yeah.
I think just right now I'm just at a weird, you know, like, it's just like every day people are like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I'm good. And then I'm like, deep down, I'm like, I feel like I'm alive and I'm here. Like, that's how I feel. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It's just weird. And people are like, okay, well, if you started over, what would you do? I'm like, ideally, if everybody was like cool and I had money, I would move to another country just for a little bit, just to test it out, see how it goes, experience another culture. But guess what? Humanity's lost the damn plot. I can't go anywhere anyway. So it's like, here are my two options. It's either stay and hope something, like, hope I see the light and find the path, or I go home and I start over and hope I see the light and find the path. Like, it's just,
it sucks.
Weird.
That part sucks because you're right.
Weird.
There's nowhere to escape anymore.
No.
You know, like, I just, it's sad. I mean, like, even if you're like, I'm going to move to Sweden. Well, I just saw that Sweden is the rape capital of the world, and they're actually paying, I don't know, refugees, whatever you want to define them as, they're paying them to leave because they've impacted the society negatively. We're doing the same thing here, whether they choose to take the money and go or we're taking them. It's all over Europe. Hungary's getting fined from the EU because they won't let refugees in. They're like, we're not letting anybody in. Are you crazy?
Y'all are crazy.
Right? Like, Australia, even Japan. Japan just passed a law saying that you cannot be buried here. The traditions here are to be cremated. And if you're Islam or Muslim or whatever, and you want to be buried, then ship your body back to where you're from and get buried there. I mean,
die somewhere else, man.
And so it's like, where do you escape to? Like, it's all like, what the, you know? So
at least when you were 21, like, you could move to a new city, and that did
dramatically
something
different. Yeah.
That did something. Yeah. But like, if I wanted to move to a new city, you know, the top 3 cities that people in their 20s move to like find themselves, right? Chicago,
terrible.
New York,
terrible.
LA.
Terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So where the hell am I supposed to go to find myself, bro? Everyone, like, you know, that's the thing when you watch like coming of age movies. It's always, oh, I just moved to New York. Oh, I just moved to Chicago. Oh, I just moved to LA. And so, like, growing up, I was like, well, if I ever lose the plot, I can just go there. And then
those
I'm
days
like,
are long gone.
I'm like, what is the housing looking like? And so. And I'm like, yep, can't afford that. You know? So it's just,
and then,
like,
and as a dad, I'm like, no, right? Because New York now has a communist mayor, which is a nightmare. He just hired a former felon to help.
Let's not get into it.
Whew. And then Chicago has the highest amount of violence out of any of the city.
Because Chicago's so pretty.
It is. And then LA, I mean.
That was already off the list.
I mean, I saw a bunch of articles this morning just reading things about, you know, the Pacific Palisades and how nothing has been rebuilt, and like it's just chaotic, you know. So you're right. I mean, those romantic days of, you know, listen, maybe it's our fault. You grew up on classic stuff, and you know all the 80s movies, and a lot of them are John Hughes and Chicago or New York based or LA, you know what I mean? And so now it's like, you're right. Where's the next, what's the next, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't even be romantic and go to London.
No,
I can't go anywhere. I'm literally
trouble too.
I'm literally just stuck. And then people are like, well, go to Atlanta. I would literally rather die. Just kidding. let's not be dramatic. I think Atlanta's really cool, but it's also super dangerous.
Well,
Charlotte, if I even wanted to come close to home, just like to have family support, Charlotte's literally contemplating shutting down the train system because there was another stabbing on the train the other day. So it's like,
by another felon that had like 70 arrests.
Right. Like I can't even live the like fun city life close to home because it's not
safe. I know. And Atlanta, I've gone to Atlanta in the last 11 years. I've probably gone to Atlanta, no joke, 400 or 500 times.
Yeah.
Right. Because of work and tournaments and stuff. There's a lot of great parts in Atlanta and a lot of great things to do in Atlanta, but it's so congested. And I grew up in Southern California. The driving in Atlanta is one of my least favorite places I've ever driven in my entire life.
Yeah.
And for those of you, if you're watching from Atlanta, don't get all defensive. I'm not putting it down. And let's be honest. When I talk to people from Atlanta, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's horrible. We hate driving here. It's a nightmare." So, yeah, I think that is kind of like the gap between feeling the way you feel and the way that I felt. But I think it's different. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it, I gave you an example of feeling the way you felt, but I couldn't go home. Yeah. And I was completely on my own. Insurance, bills, rent, the whole thing. You don't have that. But I didn't have where you feel, where I, because I did move to LA because it was pretty freaking cool to move to LA in the mid 90s,
Yeah, we get it. You and Mom grew up during the greatest time to grow up. We get it. I get it.
But you know what's crazy is your mom and I would probably say that about our parents a little bit too. Think about it, like Back to the Future movie. And what
but the 80s and 90s were like, I think, the peak of society.
80s and 90s were pretty
because
nice.
Everybody thought that they were going to die in the Cold War, so everybody just lived the life that they wanted to live, and nobody stopped anybody. So it's like
pretty linear or narrow focus, but I'll appreciate your viewpoint.
That's how it looks to me, though. Like, because everyone's like, I'm like, oh, but the 80s were so free. They were like, yeah, but we thought we were going to die in the Cold War, and I'm like, well, you guys still had a hell of a great time.
Well, yeah, I mean, we used to do duck and cover drills in elementary school where we.
Those are so funny to me because what the hell is that going to do?
And I grew up in San Diego, right near a naval base, like one of the largest naval bases. So we were always like, if there is an attack, we're getting hit. There's just no way around it.
You know what? At least it would have been quick.
And I was like, that was pre-teenage years. Like it was just, I used to watch military jets do missions right over our house. I mean, it was constant. I mean, that's how we grew up. So there is some truth to that. I'll give you that. But I don't know. I do think you summed it up pretty well. I think we've lost the plot on a lot of things, and it's hard. It's hard not to discuss them without people taking it politically or socially or whatever, But
it is.
But it is. I mean, it's like I got told by a person that they think that being patriotic in this country is what's wrong with the country, and I was like, so being proud of where you're from is now bad? Like I don't. So
we've lost the plot.
Yeah. So I think by you saying that, I think there is some truth to that, and. Listen, we could talk for years about it. You could talk about the family unit. You can talk about the lack of parental guidance. You can talk about social media and the internet. You can talk about the globalization of certain things and people's reluctance to it and other things. You can talk about religion expansion or religious expansion and beliefs. I mean, there's so many reasons that you could go, you know what I mean? Like it as to why we've lost the plot. And so, I don't know how to solve it. If I could solve it, then I'd be a billionaire,
Yeah, because I was thinking last night about this whole thing, obviously, because I knew we were going to talk about it today. And I do think it's more socially than anything. Obviously, politics are going to have a piece in everything and whatever.
They used to not.
I know, but they are.
Everything.
But they are now, so there's nothing we can do. However, we can fix it from a society standpoint, but nobody's doing it because it's not what's accepted. No one's calling out the things that need to be fixed. And I'm not saying that I would either, because I'm complacent in all this. I can speak on it as much as I want, but like, I'm not getting on social media and saying like, guys, let's fix it. Because in my brain, I'm like, who's going to listen to a 21-year-old from South Carolina? Like, no one.
Well,
no one, because the way that we've been living has just become so accepted that all we're going to do is moan about it and no one's going to do anything to fix it. So it's like, what?
Well,
but it is sad because, you know, everyone has, again, for a lot of adults that I've spoken to, they've gone and moved to a new city specifically, not small town in the middle of the upstate. I've moved to a big city, lived in the apartment, worked at the restaurant, like made all these friends. And I'm like, and like we talked about and just talked about, I don't even have a city I can do that with. You know,
I'm
like
sure there's one somewhere. You just have to do some research, but it
like
might
what?
be, I don't know. I honest to God, I have no idea. I mean, I left Southern California and came to the Carolinas 18 and a half years ago and on a whim and on a freaking gamble and made it work out. And
yeah, but I'm not going to like Idaho.
I know a lot of people that moved from California to Idaho and they love it. And people from Idaho are like, okay, stop coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing with Texas and the same thing with here and the same thing, you know? So I'm sure there's places out there that you could find beneficial. But it might not be a big city. You know what I mean? It might be a medium-sized city.
But I want that big city experience. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if it's...
all the big cities are a no-no.
I don't know if you can find it. I mean, you can find it. Your mom and I would never sleep again. But you can go do it. But
Mom didn't even sleep when I was in Colombia, bro.
I know.
That wasn't even that bad.
Yeah. But it's, you know, it's scary. I think it's maybe, well, two things. Number one, I don't think you should put so much pressure on yourself to feel like you need to have it all figured out. And I understand why you do. But my advice to you is...
yeah, because I'm your kid.
I know, but my advice to you is don't. You know?
I know.
I mean,
I know.
And like I've told you, when I was 21, I didn't know what I was doing. Moved to LA, had a great time. Moved back to San Diego and started my adult life at like 26, you know?
Yeah.
But I never felt the pressure to feel like I had to figure it out. I just was kind of just going, you know? And I didn't feel like I needed to know exactly what I was going to do. And I didn't need to know exactly this or exactly that. So maybe one part of it is maybe you're putting too much pressure on yourself to have it all figured out. And
what? Me put pressure on myself? Never.
Yeah, and you shouldn't put that much pressure on yourself. And I hope you don't. I mean, really, I know you do. But I hope after us talking, you recognize, all right, my parents know what it's like. They appreciate it. They give me my foundation. They even said I could move home rent-free and start over and have all that confidence in the world to just not know and be okay with not knowing.
Yeah.
So that's what I hope. On the other side, the whole changing things, listen, people listen to a lot of people that are not credible.
Yeah.
And people listen to a lot of people for the wrong reasons. But there are a lot of people out there that are trying to do it, you know? I mean,
yeah.
So you could be that voice with that channel too, to take on that challenge, but not assume the responsibility of it all, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I think the simplest one that I can think of right now would be a religious type one, right? You got Charlie Kirk, which was a tragedy this year. Despite what you thought of him, if you didn't believe in what he believed, he had the courage to be out there and to try, you know?
Yeah.
Megyn Kelly, the journalist, she was on Fox News. She left Fox News. And she's one of the very few female conservative pointed outlets, right? Through her podcast and through her news stuff, right? You got
Well, that was politics. That's not religion.
I know, but I know politics, religion.
But those shouldn't coincide. You're doing the thing that everyone's doing where you're coinciding.
No. I'm giving you examples of people that maybe weren't wanting the responsibility of being the person to voice an opinion.
Yeah.
That did it anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just making sure
as a
you're
journalist, you know, like to be a different than the norm type of journalist takes courage. Yeah. And not a lot of people do it, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean,
I was just making sure you're separating the two because you said you're like, I can think of religion, and then you named two things that people look at as political. Sorry. So that's why I was making sure it was like, no. I don't want people to be like, you know.
No. I mean, okay, I can go even more neutral, although some people would say he's more right now from a political standpoint because everybody has to label everything. But Joe Rogan, dude, he was a comedian. I saw him at the Irvine Improv in the 90s, right? He was a comedian. And then he was on news radio, a sitcom, until Phil Hartman was tragically murdered. And then the show lasted another year or two. And then he did Fear Factor. And then he did a podcast. And his podcast was like, I'm just going to tell people what I think and try and make a difference. And now he's, the number one podcaster in the world, or number two maybe. But there's a lot of examples where people may not have been qualified, or they didn't think people would listen, or maybe what they thought was different than what everybody was seeing or hearing about. And so you can do that, and you can do that with your channel, but not take the responsibility that you have to be the one that saves society. Just be a voice to help direct it the way that we hope we can get to someday, you know?
Yeah, I do put too much responsibility on myself, and we've talked about this. I did it with work the other night where I felt like everything was my fault and I was a failure, and mom was like, you had a bad 4 hours. Right. Like, think about that. It was 6 hours, but like, you had a bad few hours and you're acting like you've disappointed the president. Like, I do put too much pressure on myself. I always have. I assume way too much of responsibility. I always have. So when you're somebody that is always like, quote unquote, the leader or the responsible one, or the mom friend, where everyone looks to you. And this is just, I'm not saying that I'm this amazing glorified individual. I'm a flawed person. I'm aware of it. But I have been that friend where people are like, I'm one of the first people that, no matter if they're my friend or not now, they would always come to me for advice or ask my opinion or come to me when they were sad. And, you know, that's a good thing that people know that I can be there for them and responsible and like that kind of friend. But to go from that person that always has the advice, always knows how to help, always knows what she wants to do, always knows this, to go from all of that and then to end up like, where I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. And people are like, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. So I do put a lot of responsibility on myself, and I expect a lot out of myself because I've always been that way and it's always worked out for me. So now I'm putting that same kind of responsibility and I just use the word responsibility and effort. I don't know. I've always put that on myself. And so to now I'm doing that same thing where I'm like, you have to be here. You have to be here. You have to be here. And I'm like, here. I'm like, so that's, I do agree with you where I think that's where some of the panic is because I've always been so like responsible and sure. And now I'm like irresponsible and unsure. So it's like, I do agree that that's where the panic is. And I know I don't have to have it figured all out. I know that that's the whole point of your 20s is to figure it out. But like, not even with social media, just with people I'm surrounded with, they all are very confident in what they're doing, right? Like my best friend, she's very confident in her major, even though it drives her insane. She's very confident in it to this day. No matter how many mental breakdowns she has, she's like, this is what I want to do. My other best friend, she plays soccer. She's very confident in that's what she wants to do. all my roommates are very confident and that's what they're in their field for, no matter how many mental breakdowns it gives them. But I don't have that same confidence. So it's not even just a social media aspect. It's everyone that I interact with on the daily is like, and again, we've talked about how not a lot of people end up working professionally for their whole life in the field that they started in, but at least they're like, at least they know they want to start there out of college.
Right.
You know, like, I don't know where I want to, I just can't do it. I like want to bang my head into the wall.
But that's where you have to learn to let go a little bit.
I know.
You have to learn to let go.
I mean,
just take being who you are and what you're doing as the day, you know, like every day I'm going to work because I enjoy working, and maybe I'll become a manager just so I have resume experience. It's not a bad thing, right? Like we've talked, like you've said that they've talked to you about, right? So you can go to school, do your thing, get a degree that's very broad, which opens up a ton of avenues, because who knows? The problem is all these people are so sure, but the problem with that certainty is that the world isn't.
Yeah.
And so when you're that sure that young, that's still could be dangerous and scary, because we are at a place in society where AI is doing a lot of stuff and it's taking a lot of things away that people are like, oh, I'm going to do this. You're always going to need someone to do this. Well, it turns out we don't, you know? But 20 years ago, we would never have seen this. So I don't know what everybody in your life is majoring in, but at some point, I mean, I can just go into Gemini or ChatGPT and say, hey, do a PowerPoint on logistics projections over the next 5 years in the Southeast, and it'll do a 10 PowerPoint slide for me. I don't even know how it does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 10 years ago, 5 years ago, we never would have dreamed, maybe not normal people, but I'm sure somebody in somewhere was working on it. But but like some of that certainty also could lead to pitfalls. So I think the thing, it's hard to hear that you feel as lost as you do, because I can't fix that. Yeah. But I can tell you and relate to you that, and then set an expectation to you to like, look, your mom and I aren't holding you accountable to telling you have to figure something out today or we're going to cut you off. Yeah. So go figure it out. You have every day, wake up and do, take up something, do something, go to the gym, go for a walk, read an article that you wouldn't normally read that's not a social media driven thing, right? Like find new ways to energize yourself and then go, okay, well, today I've got school and I've got work and I'm going to do this thing that I'm committed to doing. Yeah. And if whatever comes at me, I'll take it, and then continue to pursue things, because as your interests change, your pursuit changes. And as you get older, your pursuit changes because of responsibility. And that's the biggest difference. Right now, you have the freedom to pursue whatever you want with really no consequences. Zero. Yeah. Once you get married and have kids, that's it. And I've told you the whole time, like I stopped doing things in my early 20s, even before I had responsibility, because I got caught up in making good money. So like I'm in LA and you're like, you have a shift on Friday night, or you can go to an audition, because I actually had an agent, and I'd be like, oh, Friday night I have to drive from the Valley to Century City. Culver City. It's gonna take me like 2.5 hours to get down there, and then but if I go to work, I'm gonna make $300. Yeah. So good. What I do, I went to work because I wanted the money, right? So with you, if you want to be an interior designer, then keep doing what you're doing, but then research interior design and learn programs about that on your extra time, because you do have extra time. You got to write. You started writing a book. You stopped writing the book. Get back into writing the book. You've got to find an outlet to get all this anxious energy out that's productive as opposed to just sitting in your room or your apartment because you're done with school. You completed everything, but your roommates are in finals this week. And so you're sitting at home going, man, everybody's out there. They're doing something. And I'm just sitting here doing nothing. No, you already finished everything that you needed to do for the semester. Overachiever. So with that time, find some way to put that energy into it. And maybe it leads into something. Your channel. Put something in there. If you're that uncertain from the time you posted your first video over a week ago to today and you've done no other videos, then you're not taking advantage of the opportunity because your whole point of the channel is to talk about where you are. Hey, you guys.
Well, no, that's not why I haven't posted.
It's another day and I'm doing this and I really should be doing like put some of that energy out into the ether, into something productive, and then just look at school and work as just parts of what your life is right now. It's not your entire life.
Yeah.
Go do other things that interest you.
That's not why I haven't posted a video. Wow. I haven't posted because I want to be alone when I speak.
You're alone right now.
No, I think someone came home.
Okay, but not when we started.
But it's different with the podcast. It's different with the podcast, though.
2 hours ago, you were home by yourself. Guaranteed.
No. Mm-mm.
An hour ago. Hour and a half ago.
That's why, well, an hour ago, I texted you that I was ready to go whenever, so.
So an hour and a half ago.
Yes.
Yeah. You had half an hour to post something. But find, and in all honesty, Lauren, the reason why I say it is because when I was in LA, I went through the same thing. And I recognized that I didn't want to be doing what I was doing into my 30s because a lot of the people that were there were older than I was. And they were making great money because we were working at the best place. And so I was like, shit. Now, so I was like, all right, well, I got to work and I'm doing a little bit of school, but I've got a lot of free time.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do with all that free time? Now I can sit and drink and party all night and wake up right before I have to go to work, which I did, right?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Or I could lay in, we didn't have social media, so I can sit there and watch TV or play PlayStation, which I did. I did a ton of that. MLB 98, the best game ever. But my other love is soccer, right? So every single day I grabbed 3 soccer balls, I grabbed my cleats, I got in the car, I drove to the local park in Sherman Oaks, California, and I ran and I kicked a ball. I dribbled a ball by myself, and then I took a fence, an outfield fence for one of the baseball fields, and that was my goal, and I constantly just kept shooting the ball at the fence, and I'd shoot it over, and I'd have to jump the fence and go get it. I did that for like 2.5 hours every single day just to get out of my head, get out of what I was doing, get out of where I was. So that's why I give you that advice. And it really helped
all
me.
my softball stuff is gone.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying find something that you can do that's productive, that you enjoy, whether it's creative or whether it's athletic or whether it's something. Just get out. And, for me, I moved back home and I went to junior college and I played for the junior college team and was the captain, and I was the old man on the team because they're all 19 and I was 25.
Yeah.
But I had a great time. I think I made all state. I had scholarship offers to like Northern Iowa or something, wherever Tony Romo went. And I didn't take them because I didn't want to move to Iowa, but it just opened my life and made me feel better just overall. Yeah. Because you can drown yourself in isolation, and that's not, especially with a brain like yours, it's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not healthy. So
so
you got to get out and go do other things.
I always identify. The good thing is, like, I've gotten better at identifying when I'm spiraling. Like last year, I would text or call you guys and be like, spiraling. And you guys would be like, Lauren, calm down. Let's talk about it.
Right.
So I've gotten better, like, especially this year with like recognizing that I'm spiraling. So like I'll text you guys or call you guys, or I'll I don't know what just happened. Or I'll talk to my roommates or, my best friends, whatever. So I've done better at recognizing like when I'm spiraling. But it's also hard because you guys are helping me, but you don't you're not in the same spot. But then at the same time, all the people that I talk to, like friend wise, also can't relate because, like we talked about, they're on some sort of shore idea. So it's like, it's just weird. It's all weird.
No, I get it.
But yeah,
I
don't know. I've got to do a lot.
Get out of your head.
Thinking.
Yeah.
Get out of my head, but do a lot of thinking too.
Right. But, don't take the responsibility on that you have to solve everything right now. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, lean against the fact that you have the foundation and you really can't do wrong. I mean, unless you do drugs or kill somebody or something. I mean, then you can do something wrong. But, listen, having the confidence to go, no matter what I choose, my family's still there. They love me, and I've always got that backstop,
Yeah.
Number three, don't try and make everything be the end of the earth, meaning that if I don't do this, then the world's going to end. That's not true.
I do that.
It's not so serious, especially right now. And just embrace, I'm in school and I'm working. I have roommates, I have friends, I have coworkers. I live in a great part. I do enjoy it here. I'm going to have fun and take it for what it's worth. Take it, all that as face value. And then number four, find something to give you some sort of productive feeling. People turn to working out. Like I said, they turn to athletic output, which is really good for you. They turn to creativity. I mean, at one point your mom was making soap in her 20s. She literally was making soaps and like making little bags and selling them or giving them to friends, right?
Sounds about right for mom.
She just did something, learn something new, find something that interests you that you want to learn more about. Get out of just, my life is so mundane, because you're 21. Now my life is mundane, but that's kind of the way it goes until you get older. It's like I get up, I work, I do laundry, I walk dogs, I feed dogs, I clean the house, I travel when I have to travel. Like that's the rest of your life for a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not unhappy with my life, but at 21 I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't like, oh, I gotta go to school, now I gotta go to work, now I gotta go to this. Like I wasn't thinking like that. I was like, these are just things that are happening in my life, and I'm gonna go do all this other crap too.
I
don't know.
It's
like I said, unfortunately I can't get in your head and
I wish you could
rattle you around.
I say all the time, I wish we could, like, this might sound funny to you, but I've had people agree with me. We're like, I wish we could just take our brains out and like just give them a good scrub sometimes.
Ugh, that sounds disgusting.
No, but like you get it. Like I can put my brain back in and I feel all clean and like recalibrated.
Listen, that's why people meditate. It's why people go and do ayahuasca. I mean, there's a lot of look it up. There's a lot of people that feel the same way, but they go do something. They meditate, they go work out, and they run. Runners talk about the runner's brain, cleans them out. You get into the runner's groove. I know that's not going to be
they're lying.
You ever do.
Yeah, no, that's so propaganda.
No, I used to run, 6 miles a day.
Ugh.
I used to hate it. I wish I could do it now. My knees won't let me do it. But
it's my purgatory.
But even now, like I'll go to the gym, like especially on days that I'm just frustrated with a lot of stuff, I'll go to the gym, and that gets me out of where I'm at, So you're right. I wish we could take our brains out and scrub them, but there's things that you can do to help with that doesn't necessarily mean take your brain out,
Going on drives always helps me, which is good because after this I'm going to Target, and the closest Target is 30 minutes away. So I'll have a nice good drive to clear my head. That's
not the productive part
it is very productive.
I'm going to drive and go to Target and spend money and shop. That's a dangerous formula right there.
You know better that I don't spend a lot of money. I I spend a lot of money on food. I'm a big foodie, but I don't spend a lot of money on items. Because you guys all the time are like, I'll be like, I like that shirt. You guys will be like, get it. And I'm like, nah. Like I don't like spending money. So
that is unfortunately from me.
I know it's from you, but that's like when I got my first like big paycheck and I went to the mall with Mom last December and I spent a lot of money and I was like borderline having a panic attack in the car afterwards. And she was like, Lauren, but that's what you work for. I was like, but I spent over $200 on clothes and like I don't want to, like I was so freaking out. But it is productive because it's groceries that I need and I've been putting it off. So it is going to be productive and it'll be good to help me clear my head after this conversation because now my brain's doing the thing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, go clear your head. And
but anyway, everyone, figure it out. Everyone, if you're a real adult, I know you're probably like my dad where you're like, dude, calm the F down. But if you knew me personally, you would know this is actually quite on brand for who I am. So
anyway, we're good. We're going to keep going. I'm going to do, and for those of you that are watching, like, comment, engage. I mean, you made it this far. You might as well like us and follow us, right? Like I saw there's a guy that does cooking videos. He's a big dude with a family. Okay. And he says it every time. He's like, if you've been watching this long, because it's been like 2 minutes, then why are you not following me? Why are you wasting your time? Like, follow me. Let's do this, right? So there's a lot of people that watch us that don't follow us. So follow us. Come on.
We're funny.
You're tuning in every week. We're getting a couple hundred views on every video, no matter what the platform is. So like us, follow us, and come back and share it with your friends and your family. Because this type of episode is what we do. Most Gen X dads do not have these conversations with their Gen Z daughters.
Yep.
So if this is what you wish you had with your dad, or if this is what you wish you could do with your daughter, then tune in, like it, follow us, and share it. And we would appreciate that.
Yep. Cool. And again, these were kind of, I don't want to say mundane episodes because they were good for people to hear, especially if you're tuning in and you're my age and you do feel the same. So it's good for people to hear, but we'll be back to our usual antics pretty soon. We should do a Christmas themed episode next week.
Yeah, it'll be close to Christmas.
Oh, yeah, we should do it.
It's 2 weeks away from tomorrow. Oh my God.
Thank God. I need some holly.
2 weeks from today.
I need some holly jolly in my life soon.
Well, come on. Our whole house is holly jolly like crazy.
I know.
So.
I know.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for following. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, engage, interact, comment, like, yell at us, praise us, whatever. But if you're watching every week and you see us pop up, then you're somehow interested. So you better follow us and make it worthwhile. That's all I'm saying. But have a great rest of your week. We appreciate it.
No pressure. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will see you next week.
See ya.